like being
Correct.
out here is very difficult to, you have to be able to analyze and think. Even if, as we go, the big thing now is this AI. Everybody's AI revolutionary, whatever. They were paying $80,000 for people who were doing prompt engineering for AI. You have to think. I mean, the more and more I use ChatGPT and Gemini, and now they got 8 million of them now. You get better at it, and it's engineering. I had talked with one of my church members, and he was talking about engineering. We get so enamored with the term engineering. I don't remember his definition, but engineering is a version of solving problems. All engineering. That's what it
It
is.
is. That's all it
Yeah.
is. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
So
identifying the problem,
yeah,
identifying how to identify what the problem is, and then solve for that. Correct.
yeah. So you come up and you do these things, but I know specifically in certain communities, and we know what we're talking about. That's not what we teaching children.
Mm-mm.
So what they're being taught is, we get to the point where we taught to blow up. You gonna do something, you gonna blow up. And the surefire ways, or the most direct ways of blowing up, is to be an athlete or an entertainer. That's it.
You know, it's
That's
funny. Growing up, man. Growing up, my dad kept us in sports. He was definitely a iron fist guy, right? When it comes to who you are as an individual, right? So we didn't have TVs in our room growing up, and we couldn't watch TV after a certain time, right? We had to dedicate a certain amount of time to homework. He didn't want us doing homework all night. And if we went to him with a math problem and we didn't have it written out, he didn't want to hear it. He wanted to see how it was written out
You
because it
had
might
to
be
write
one
them
or
out.
two.
You
Huh?
had to. Back in the day,
You
you
had
had
to.
to
Yeah,
write them
you had
out.
to on that little grayish type of piece of paper. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying? Like,
unless you were
but
just
most
naturally gifted. Yeah.
right. But most people wait till they get to class the next day and copy some of my homework, right?
Well, I mean,
But
yeah,
my
that's
pops
good.
he used to review that bad boy. But one of the things or two of the things that as I got older, and even more so when I became a father, I really understood it, right? We couldn't watch TV after a certain time, so we didn't have to go directly to sleep either, unless we were being productive. So whether I was doing my art and my architecture drawing and things like that, right? So it was either you being productive or you reading a book. But
Hmm.
in the summertime, before we went outside, and they always kept us in summer programs anyway, right? We had to read the newspaper, right? The up north Star Ledger. We had to read the Star Ledger and write articles from our understanding of what we read. We couldn't copy and
You had to
plagiarize
summarize
anything
it.
out of the
Really.
paper. And that
Yeah.
exercise went on year after year after year after year. So what it does is it teaches you not to be siloed into what someone says you need to become, and it allows for the problem solving. It allows for the critical thinking. It allows for, even if you get uncomfortable in a situation that you don't understand, you learn how to, and this is a constant thing, right? You learn how to learn something, learn how it works outside of yourself before you apply yourself to it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and that begs to I think goes to what we were saying. I'm gonna bring it back. For entrepreneurship, the skills aren't in the book.
Right.
So, while there's a disservice in the educational system, there's also a disservice out here in the world too, because we don't either require or encourage things like that exercise. I mean, I read a lot, which I didn't. Someone told me, and memorializing my mother, like she used to have me read when I was a kid. And I remember finishing books and things like that. Then I went to college and I stopped reading. Long story, but anyway. But now I read again, so it's all good. But um, there's extra. It was like we were talking about earlier. People say they want to start a business stuff and they think, you know, the I don't like doing my job no more. But they're saying, so I'm gonna start a business. Well,
Yeah,
you're
and
gonna work harder.
I'm not gonna do any of the fundamentals behind it because somebody gonna give me some money, or it's gonna be easy because I got a talent or a skill set to
Yeah,
go and make some money. But that ain't it.
yeah. You got you have to continue to self-educate. And that's the thing is the younger that you even if you don't do it, that concept is put into you, the better things can work out for you. Remember, we're in a knowledge-based economy. Now, but people have to, I mean, my imagination, I'm a sci-fi guy. My imagination is quite vivid.
Whoa.
Is no, no, all right, pause. All right. It's like, yeah,
Whoa, whoa,
yeah.
whoa, whoa.
But I'm saying some of these things that that are if you go down the line and you look at how data and machine learning and AI is happening, there's things in the future that were only in movies that are going to happen. So they're going to come, and how do you operate with that? I mean, there's things that's going on. I mean, the robots are coming. They got robotic McDonald's, yo. They here. They got them already. They're just not mass. You know, they're not everywhere. They
You remember the Jetsons, bro? Like,
yeah, all the
you know how
Jets is going
long
to be
ago
real.
that was?
Yeah, but
It's
they've been working on it since then. They've been working
yeah,
on that stuff
it's
since then. They were like, hey, that's a pretty good idea.
crazy. Yeah, crazy, right?
The robots are totally coming. Android robots are like humans. They totally coming.
And so, see, now they got us believing that the robots going to take over our jobs. No, not if you learn it and you become the developer of it.
Yeah, the robot and the
Because
programmer.
see, right? Because I think the work, because we so siloed in the world, right, and wherever we're from or we're at, I think that we believe that there's scarcity. There's nothing scarce about um, prosperity and abundance. It's
No,
all in what you think it is. You know what I mean? So learn. You know what's funny is, and I gotta lay this out is we're talking about this because not only is our experience, but we work with business clients, and a lot of times people come to us with frustrations or challenges, and we ask just a simple question like, "Okay, tell me how you execute this. How do you deliver? How do you execute this?" And they could say it off the top of their. Some of them could say it off the top of their head. But when we say, okay, turn that into a step by step process, that way, if someone you don't need to, they don't need to know you, but they need to understand the process that goes. Most people can't do it, and so that's why we this is the context of where that's coming from, along with the topic of school stuff. Um,
yeah, that's
it's
true.
it's you know what I mean? And to your man's point, he made two other good points. We used to read the back of the cereal. Yo, I used to love reading the back of the cereal box.
Oh yeah,
Comic books, bro. What?
yeah. Well,
And
we
and
had
then
to
the
read.
start the Sunday paper.
Yeah, the comic strip, comic book, Sunday paper. I mean, your sports scores. You go into the back of the
Hmm.
newspaper. In my case, it was Daily News. I mean, it was a more. It was, that was one of our big communication things. We're in a place now where video has taken over, but video has always been. I mean, the news is at a sixth grade level.